Okay, today we're looking at session 3, our guided practice. Same thing, we're combining like terms, but first we need to do our distribution. So we have on the outside of our parentheses, we're always looking for that number. And if there's no number on the outside, we're putting in the number 1. So we're going to take 1 times each term on the inside. 1 times 4x is going to be 4x. And 1 times 2 is going to be 2. And then this set of parentheses, we have positive 1. 1 times 1 is going to be 1. And 1 times x is going to be 1x. So then we can combine our like terms. So we have 4x and our plus 1x. 4x plus 1x would give us 5x. And then we have positive 2 plus 1, and that's going to be positive 3. So our simplified version is going to be 5x plus 3. Looking at the next one, we put a 1 here in front of our parentheses. 1 times 3x is going to be 3x. And 1 times positive 5 would be positive 5. Here we've got minus an x. Remember, we can put a 1 in there, so we have minus 1x. And then we don't have a number in front of our parentheses, so we put a 1. Positive 1 times 2x is going to be positive 2x. And positive 1 times 3 is going to be positive 3. Let's see, 3x minus 1x would be 2x's, plus another 2x. 3x minus 1x plus 2x, that's going to be 4x. And then we have positive 5 plus 3 is going to be positive 8. So our simplified version is 4x plus 8. All right, looking down here at the next one, we've got some minus signs in there, so we got to make sure we're watching our negatives. Put a 1 in here. 1 times 4x is going to be 4x. And 1 times negative 2 is going to be negative 2. Now in front of this parentheses, we have a minus sign, so we remember we're going to make that 1. It'll be negative 1 times 1 will be negative 1. And negative 1 times x will be negative 1x. So now we've got a lot of negative signs here. So we've got 4x minus 1x is going to be 3x. And then I have negative 2 minus 1 would be negative 3. So our simplified version here is 3x minus 3. Looking over here at number 8, we've got a 1 in front of our parentheses. 1 times 3x is 3x. And 1 times positive 5 is going to be positive 5. Then we have this minus x. Remember, we can put minus 1x in there. And then we have a negative sign and then parentheses, so we'll put a 1 in there. Negative 1 times 2x would be negative 2x. And negative 1 times positive 3 is going to be negative 3. So I have 3 x's, and I take away an x, so that leaves me with 2 x's, minus another 2 x's. I actually have 0 x's. And when I have 0 of something, I don't even have to write it. I can just say, oh, we're just going to get rid of it. So now I just have 5 minus 3, which would be 2. So my simplified version of this expression is 2. All right, let's see. Put a 1 in front of this first parentheses. 1 times 4x would be 4x. 1 times 2 is going to be 2. And then we have plus 3x. Okay, and then we have a minus sign here, and then we have a parentheses. So we're going to put in a 1. This is like negative 1. Negative 1 times 2x would be negative 2x. And negative 1 times 3 is going to be negative 3. So we've got 4x plus 3x minus 2x. So 4 plus 3 is 7. Minus 2 would give us 5 x's. And then we have positive 2 minus 3, which would leave us with negative 1. Our simplified terms are 5x minus 1. The last one here, put a 1 in front of our parentheses. 1 times 3x would be 3x. 1 times positive 1 is going to be positive 1. Now the second set, we have a minus sign here. So when we put our 1 in there, remember, this makes it negative 1 times everything inside. Negative 1 times positive 4 would be negative 4. And then we have negative 1 times negative 2x. Remember that minus sign made for the negative 2x. So negative times negative is going to be positive 2x. And we have one more set of parentheses, so we put in a 1 here. Positive 1 times 2 is going to be positive 2. And positive 1 times x is going to be positive 1x. So starting with my x's, 3x plus 2x plus 1x. 3 plus 2 is 5, plus 1 would be 6x. And then I have positive 1 minus 4 would get me to negative 3, plus 2 would bring me back up to negative 1. So my simplified term is going to be 6x minus 1.